Canley, we have a problem. After last week, when we installed new speakers to get the hi-fi working again in the Triumph, it all seemed good. And I went and put back in the shiny silver big amp, which should give me a louder performance. Only since then, I now get this. So either Pac-Man is living in my amplifier, or I have a problem. It's okay, I'm going to put the long mill amp back in, and then we can crack on. Swap the other amp back in, and now we're all go again. Welcome back to the Grubby Garage, where chaos reigns, as you can tell. Last week I was driving the car and unfortunately I broke down. I was stuck at the side of the road for about 20 minutes till finally I managed to get it fired back up and I got home. Can't have that, can't be breaking down at the side of the road. So we need to get on and see what's wrong with it. So I took the carburetors apart, I took the spark plugs out, took the distributor apart. I can't find anything horrendously wrong, but there are a few things that need fixing. Centre of the distributor cap seems to be melting and breaking up. I need to get a new one of those. Spark plugs, black and sooty. Need to replace those. Worst of all, the HT leads are all just falling apart. The outer sleeving has just fallen off this lead. It's in pretty poor condition. It also seems to be breaking up and burning at the ends, so we need to replace them. Fortunately, when I went looking up to see how much they were, they're £90 a set at the moment. That's just not in the budget. However, the actual ends, rubber bits, that seem to be the most expensive parts, are in good condition. There's nothing wrong with those. We just need to replace the lead. So, I've bought some leads, I've bought some crimp terminals, and most importantly, bought a little tool, one half, the other half, which claims to make really nice crimped ends. So I thought I'd see if we can make it work, get it to work on camera and show it off, see if it's any good. The important part to this HT lead is this end here, which goes onto the spark plug, and this end here, which is a crimp that is clamped in the distributor cap by a screw. Everyone's favourite auction site turned up a set of crimp connectors which will do both ends of the lead, the new lead and the tool to make the connections. Job number one is to give ourselves a HT lead to take a pattern from. So I have to unscrew inside the old distributor cap, draw the end, and there's the old lead. Most of the lead's not in bad condition. It's only this end where it's fallen to pieces. As you can see, it's dying inside there. The process of making the leads are fairly straightforward. You strip off the outer casing off the wire, exposing the core inside. Then you put the terminal on the end of it, and then you have to arrange it in the little green tool. Squeeze the two sides of the tool together to make your crimp. It's actually quite fiddly to hold it in the right place. As you can see, I'm trying with a set of pliers first, just to see if I can seat the terminal in the holder properly before finally squeezing it up in the vise to give a nice tight fit. I get there in the end. That seems alright. Apart from cutting the end of my finger, that didn't go too badly. Let's trim off the offending sharp spike. Much better. So that's one end of the lead made. I'm reasonably happy with that. It'll do the job. There we have it. It's a reasonably professional looking lead. Doesn't look bad at all. Just got to fit it into the distributor now. The trouble with the distributor cap is the holes aren't the same size. They're all sorts of different sizes. Some will take the leads well, some not at all. Doesn't seem to make any sense at all. But I did have the same problem with my previous cap, and I managed to fix it that time. So let's finish this lead off and we'll bore these out a bit. So you may be wondering why I've put a second spark plug end on the end of this lead. Well, I can't get just these little crimps. I'm sure they're available somewhere, but I can't find any. So what I'm going to do is going to cut this section off now and just keep it short. I've got enough. Having cut the end off, I'll just tidy the end off in a vise. So I've given my cut off end a bit of a clean up, crimped it round. Unfortunately on this one it actually fits all the way in really nicely, and you can see it through the little screw hole. I'm not sure if you can catch that on the camera, but it's there. So I can put the little screw in, clamp it in place. That's this lead done. So 2 leads are done, 2 still to go. Let's get on with it. So there we are, we've got 3 leads done. I'm going to get this last one in. There's no way that's going to fit in that hole. This one required a very slight bit of enlarging. This one required lots, this one none at all. So what I'm going to do is I've got an 8.5mm drill bit. I'm just going to by hand gently take away a bit of plastic at a time until I can squeeze in this 8mm lead. I think I might even be starting with an 8mm. Get down there. Right, I better crack on. So there we go, all 4 leads are in now, but now I've got to figure out what to do about this. The coil lead is completely burnt out. I don't think it's the cause of my problem, but it's not good and it can't go back in like that. I'll take it apart, see what I can fix. So there you've had it. We've made a complete set of leads for about £12. Hopefully these will work, but we need to get the spark plugs in and rebuild the tops of the carburetors, and then we can crank it up and see what works. Better go move on. It's time to fit the spark plugs. Bought a set of replacements, brand new in the box. And we need to change the gap. The spark plug gap is between the hooked electrode on the top and the centre pin, and we're going to adjust that gap. And to adjust the gap, we're going to use a thickness gauge. Tool more commonly known as a feeler blade. I'm going to adjust the gaps on these spark plugs so the 1mm feeler blade will just fit in the gap. It's a little bit narrow at the moment. Still a little narrow. I reckon that's about spot on. Just another 3 to do. It's quite quick. With the spark plug set, it's time to send them home. In all seriousness, of course, I'm going to do the job properly. Each spark plug is put in hand tight and then just nipped up to full tightness. So with the new spark plugs installed, I can install the brand new HT leads, hoping that I've got them in the right firing order. go. After number one cylinder fought me all the way, I managed to get it working. They're all connected, ready for a test fire. But first, I need to rebuild these carburetors.
All I've got to do here really is refit the dash pots along with the pistons down the middle. There's 3 screws which retain them. A bit of a fiddle to make sure you don't drop them. And then finally I have to put on the backing plates for the K&N filters. And again, the hardest part is actually just making sure you don't drop the bolts. Nearly done.
So with the hard work done, let's turn the key and make sure it still runs. It being late in the evening, that was enough. So in the morning, we'll take it for a road test and make sure everything's okay. It looks like the car's running okay. We're going to go off and enjoy the sunshine. So that was a fairly successful road test. No problems have emerged. I've driven the car a few times since and it's always been fine. So I'm really happy with that. I think it's come out well. I'm really pleased that this little gadget has proven so useful. So I will thoroughly recommend anyone who's thinking about making their own spark plug leads to have a look on an auction site and see if you can pick one of these up. It makes really nice neat crimps that seem to be pretty solid. So I'm off to get a haircut and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video, and if you want to know about it, subscribe and hit the bell thing. If not, well, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.